The crypto crash is now going to begin. Now, first, before I say anything else, I'm not out panic selling any of my crypto. If I'm wrong, I wouldn't want to sell it and it go up. And I've been wrong before. But if it goes down, which I do believe is going to happen, again, I could be wrong. I think we're going to see Bitcoin hit its moving average in the low to mid 70s, and it's going to take altcoins down with it. I'm going to be buying more. Now, we're going to talk about what Trump just did, and pretty much that meeting was a nothing burger. However, there were some key gems inside of it. So real quick, let's take a poll. Do you think the Bitcoin is going to drop in the next few days? Say yes. If you think it's not going to drop, say no. I just want to get your the community sentiment here. And I also want to remind you, everybody that's bought the Crypto Prepper course, in the next hour, that the videos are going to be released. We're still doing the pre-filming discount. This is not, don't look at this course and this specific project, which I believe is the most decentralized project on earth. Do not look at it as an investment. Look at this as a movement. And I'm going to teach you things about blockchain technology, how to run and hold together a network. And we're about to get very loud. This project is going to get very, very loud on the internet in the next 30 days because I know who you are. I know how powerful you are. And it's very exciting. And if you are a newbie to crypto, it's even better that you take this course. If you've never owned crypto, but you own gold and silver, I'm not joking. This is the digital equivalent to gold and silver when you see how decentralized it is and how governments can't take it over. It's really exciting. All right. So here we go. And really quick, do you see the gentleman right there that whoever this is, just wanting to know what it is? That's not the type of people I want on board. I need people that understand the entire project, that are willing to do some things to help this network. This is not an investment. This is a movement. Can you guys do me a favor? Just type down below so that everybody gets it. Not an investment. It's a movement. All right. This is going to be what I believe bigger, more passionate than even Bitcoin maxis are, for lack of better terms. Sorry, that threw me off. All right, let me do this so I can see all of your guys' answers. All right, here we go. This story is out of Zero Hedge. It says, President Trump delivers remarks at the White House, the Digital Asset Summit. It was a nothing burger. On March 6th, Trump acknowledged the need to harness the power of digital assets while signing the executive order for crypto assets, which states, because there is a fixed supply of Bitcoin, there is a strategic advantage of being among the first nations to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Just so you know, the project I'm talking about does more than Bitcoin in a fraction of the second at a fraction of the cost. It says right here, Standard Charter's Jeffrey Kendrick sees the main points here as this from the meeting. Bitcoin currently held will be added to the reserve. So this is the government that has seized Bitcoin through what they believe is illegal activity. I also believe that they've illegally seized a Bitcoin that wasn't part of illegal activities, but that's another video. You're going to find that coming out in the future. It says here, nothing in the reserve will be sold, which means that money, if you notice, when Biden was trying to do everything against Trump when he knew he had won, like Trump saying, hey, we need to hold on to that Bitcoin, Biden wanted to sell the Bitcoin. All right. So now that Bitcoin, they are not going to be selling it. So that's locked up. And I believe in the future, the government will be buying Bitcoin, right? All right. It says here, Treasury Secretary Bessent and Commerce Secretary Lutnick are also authorized to develop budget neutral strategies for acquiring additional Bitcoin. Okay, now think about this, budget neutral, meaning it cannot add to the budget, okay? But there's gonna be ways they could figure out to pick up Bitcoin, provided that those strategies have no incremental cost to the American taxpayer. I love it, I love it. All right, it says the non-BTC coins will be added to the stockpile, no more will be bought. Treasury Secretary could sell them, and certain data shows that the government current holdings are right now 198,000 Bitcoin, 56,000 Ethereum, and 122 million worth of USDT. All right. I still believe that you're going to see XRP on that list. Now, with that being said, there is about to be in the next day or two a lot of FUD put on the markets, paid FUD by big investors like, I believe, BlackRock, Blackstone. These big funds are going to be out there trying to shake weak hands out. So this is what I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. None of this is financial advice. I'm not selling. I'm not going to sell. Now, I do not like the term diamond hands because, quite frankly, that was put out by a bunch of hedge fund managers a long time ago, treating retail like a joke. But this is different. You see, the reason why wealthy people are wealthy is because they understand how to take advantage of people's emotions. That's all this is. You now have a moment in time where you are learning about a technology that has a fixed asset with a limited term or time frame as more and more get mined, right? And adoption is picking up rapidly. This is a bigger opportunity for you to learn about this technology. This is why we put out the Crypto Prepper. Those link, if you want the pre-filming sale, it's down below. And when you take it and you figure out what currency this is, I want you to understand, don't just race out and buy it. Okay. If you want to buy 20 bucks, 25 bucks, cool. If it races up, just let it come down. If it doesn't come down, buy another 25 bucks. Who cares? Don't break the bank. What I want you to do is you're going to get an education and you are going to actually be able to touch, I know it sounds crazy, reach out and touch a blockchain, and you are going to know that you're holding this up. There are people around the world that have helped develop this that want to be anonymous, but I will tell you this, there are early coders on the Bitcoin network that have also been a part of this. I have spoken to a couple in 2019 at the Litecoin conference summit in Vegas. And when we talked about this project, they looked at me with big eyes and say, that's the real deal right there. Like, but it'll never make it. I'm like, why? Government will be too scared of it. And I go, someday I'm gonna change that. And we're doing it right now, right before your eyes. I get to see the real numbers of who is doing this. And if just 1/10 of you was to start a node, I'm not joking, we could see more nodes than Bitcoin, okay? When I say that this is already more decentralized, you haven't seen anything yet until we teach you how to do this, how to work this. And in the future, I have heard rumors on very dark channels, let's say, of some ideas of what to do on that chain that even blow me away. And it's way over my pay grade. But I'm gonna make sure that when it comes out, my students know about it first. I don't know how to code, but I'm learning a lot from people that do, people that would rather be anonymous and hidden. This is an exciting time because this is a short window while everybody's racing over to buy Bitcoin and they're buying these altcoins and they're about to be scared out of the market. I hope that you're holding cash off the side. Now, if what I say doesn't happen in the crypto, let me do this favor real quick. Just watch everybody's reaction. Let's take a live poll. Type 1 if you think crypto is going to crash in the next week or so because of all this. Type 2 if you don't think it's going to. Now, while you're watching everybody's answers, I want you to think about this. You're in front of a group of very educated people when it comes to cryptocurrency, right? And there are some people that are new, right? If you look at everybody that's typing 1s and 2s right now, you can see that the market's actually quite mixed, right? And a lot of people, if I'm right, and the market turns down, and we have a flash crash, you're going to have people that are scared and they sell into it rather than buying into it. All right. This is what I did with XRP. This is what I did with a lot of other assets over the last 7 years. And I've done very well. Okay. I want to educate you because this opportunity comes around once in a lifetime. When you're buying things like XRP at, $1.50, when you're buying what we're talking about in the new course, when you're buying these altcoins as they're being developed, going on their own separate chains, real business use cases, this is like buying Apple when it was $1. But you have to have a real long-term perspective. You have to not only take into account the Bitcoin halving cycle perspective, but you also have to look at the blockchain technology itself and the real companies in America that are building on this. I've told my JDS Uniphase story. I've told my Priceline stock story. When you buy a stock at $1 or $2 and you sold it at a few dollars more and you missed the run to $800 or $2,500, that's the real tragedy right there. Because not only did you pay capital gains, short-term capital gains on the little gain, you missed the massive gains with the long-term capital gains, right? You lost two different ways. And so what I'm doing is I'm wanting to take major positions, and there'll be a day where you see the ninja on CNBC and they're going to go, oh, now we know what you're doing. I hope that you're thinking like that, thinking big. You know, I own businesses to make money. I don't own businesses to call myself a CEO on LinkedIn. You know, if you notice, you go on LinkedIn and everyone's a CEO. Pretty impressive, huh? You know what's not impressive? Their sales or lack thereof, their business or lack thereof, their productivity or lack thereof. I think that in the next 30 days, the market's going to be pumping higher because of a lot of clarity, because the IRS is now, all of the old guidance that the IRS gave is literally being erased in front of your eyes. In the next 30 days, you're going to have a lot of clarity. And in the next 30 days, I'm going to also be reporting how much Bitcoin and other currencies BlackRock bought and how much more Trump's company bought. And I hope I'm reporting and seeing in the comments how much you bought. Now, this is not financial advice. This part's life advice. If you believe in something and you can understand and explain to someone next to you that doesn't know anything about it, why what you're holding is going to be worth more in the future, then you buy on weakness and price dips. You don't be a speculator, all right? Now, I want to warn everyone, because in an hour, I have a feeling, because Ninja Nation is so massive, the cryptocurrency we're talking about is going to pump like you wouldn't believe. Do not buy into the hype. If you want to take a little nibble and buy 20 bucks worth or 25, do that. All right. Again, this is what we're about to launch is not an investment per se. It is an investment in your mind, not in money, even though it has a monetary value. I want to change your mindset about blockchain technology forever. This is how I started. This is what built the basis of where I am now with crypto. It's why I sold my house and bought XRP back in 2018, I think it was, or 2019, something like that. It's because I had a foundation that very few people did, and I'm going to teach that to you with one of the most brilliant minds in this nation. So when it comes to blockchain, you're going to get that for whatever the sale price is. This is no joke, in my opinion, the greatest opportunity in your life. So if you do not own any crypto, I highly suggest you go take a look at this. And just so you know, in the future, we're going to add to that course and make it even more valuable. But in the next hour, the whole course is getting launched. So enjoy. I hope you got something out of this. The Economic Ninja, dang, that sounds good, is out.